Good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And guess what? Yep, Durban's in the limelight again, and not for any good reason. It just reflects what is going on around South Africa. So let's start off with the business sector. And in Durban there is a Toyota manufacturing plant where they produce cars or vehicles. And it's going very pear-shaped. A lot of jobs on the line. Let me tell you a bit more about this. Then we'll have a look at what's happening to the Durban Promenade that was only established 2 months ago. Remember, just before the festive season, the Christmas season? Big fanfare, 300 million rand promenade. Well, not looking too good now. We'll get to that in a second. First of all, let's talk about Toyota. Toyota South Africa President and CEO Andrew Kirby hopes a week-long illegal strike, which has brought the company's Prospecton Durban vehicle assembly plant to a standstill, will be over very soon. The strike, which has stopped daily production of about 500 vehicles, is believed to be the result of a conflict within the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa, or NUMSA. The company won't disclose reasons for the dispute, but sources say NUMSA shop stewards voted out of office at Prospecton late last year are demanding reinstatement. The union argues they were ousted democratically and has instructed them and their supporters to return to work. Toyota has been granted a court interdict ordering them to stop industrial action, but Kirby said they are not listening to us, or to their union, or to the courts. This is what happens in South Africa. The justice system means nothing. Despite this, he hopes it will not be necessary to retrench anyone when the dispute ends. Several attempts by Business Day to obtain comment from NUMSA were unsuccessful. Why are we surprised? The strike began on Wednesday last week and has so far cost the company about 3,000 vehicles. Prospecton builds a Hilux Bakkie, Fortuner SUV, Hino trucks, Quantum bus and Quest car. The Quest, based on the previous generation Corolla, will be the last Corolla-related vehicle to be built in South Africa. The latest Corolla range, just launched in South Africa, is imported. More than 1 million Corollas have been sold locally since the vehicle was first built at Prospecton in 1973. Kirby told a media briefing on Thursday that the Prospecton shutdown will have limited short-term effect on South African customers, as the company had reserved stock of the affected vehicles. Other products such as the Land Cruiser, RAV, Yaris, Etios and Aygo are imported and unaffected by the strike. The bigger immediate impact is likely to be on exports. Since mid-2019, monthly exports, mainly to Europe and the rest of Africa, have ranged between 2,500 and 5,300. However, Toyota insiders say that as long as the strike does not drag on, Prospecton should be able to make up most of the production shortfall and the estimated 1 billion rand retail value of vehicles not built yet. The strike is a disappointing start to what already looks like being a difficult year for the South African motor industry. Domestic sales of new cars and commercial vehicles have been shrinking since 2013, and Kirby thinks that the market will decline by another 4% in 2020 from last year's 536,626, itself 2.8% down on the year before. The industry also has to prepare this year for a new way of doing business, an updated version of the Automotive Production and Development Program, or APDP, the government-led policy governing the motor industry, will be introduced in January 2021. In many ways a continuation of the current APDP, it will also include significant changes, some of which have yet to be finalized, and some vehicle and component companies are worried they may not be able to be completely ready in time. This is the ANC government stuffing around with big business. when that's the last thing in the world that the country can afford. Now, how many thousands of jobs are going to be affected if that Toyota factory closes down in Durban? And yet here you've got NUMSA, because they got internal squabbles causing this sort of crap. Remember I talked about cause and effect in a video just the last couple of days? There is no understanding in the logic of the heads of these people of what they're doing to impact their own future. This is one of the big issues in South Africa. And while we're talking about issues, you know, we've talked about ANC cadres getting the jobs and not doing the jobs properly. Well, again, we're talking Durban. We're talking about this wonderful new promenade that they built on the beachfront. Remember the 300 million rand promenade? Well, it's coming apart at the seams after just 2 months. Guess why? I don't have to explain, do I? Less than 2 months after being opened amid fanfare, the newly extended section of the promenade in Durban is already cracking and showing signs of poor workmanship. This is according to a civil engineer who examined the promenade, which was extended at a cost of 300 million rand during a recent stroll along what is supposed to be one of eThekwini's or Durban's major selling points. Ashwin Sibarath said he had noted problems on the promenade while walking with his wife, Audrey. He pointed to cracks and uneven sections, which he said could do damage to children, as well as evidence of poor workmanship. Sibarath, who runs an engineering company, said much better workmanship is required on a flagship project. Sorry guys, let me just get rid of this noise. There we go. His wife said the concept of the promenade was a brilliant idea. She was, however, concerned about how the facility would look in a few years' time. Well, I can tell you, in a few years' time, there are going to be bits that are broken down. It's going to be crap all over the place. It's going to be like everything else in South Africa, completely cactus. Great for the tourism industry. It's predictable. Anyway, let's continue with the story. IFP Executive Committee member Mdu Nkosi said there was a problem of people being hired and not doing the job properly. He said this was particularly common with the patronage system that had taken hold in the city. You know what we're talking about? We talk about the patronage system. It's someone in the city council who's got a brother or a sister or a good friend who says, hey, I'll set up a company and I'll do the job, and bang, bingo, they get the contract. That's called patronage. It's also called black privilege. Nkosi said what often happened was that the people would get kickbacks for awarding tenders to certain companies and the quality of the workmanship suffered. Fixing the cracks would be costly exercise, or which the ratepayers would have to fork out more money. He said it was a waste of money that could have been better spent in other critical areas, and there was no accountability for people who did substandard work. This was particularly sad, as the promenade had only just been launched. In fact, it was launched in December. Last year, the Daily News reported that the promenade had been unveiled by Mayor Mkoksili Kaunda, who did a walkabout prior to its official opening in October. The promenade has been extended by 750 meters and was 30 meters wide. It was claimed to be Africa's longest promenade and now runs 8 kilometers from the Blue Lagoon to the harbour mouth. The promenade was expected to be a tourist attraction during the festive season and was part of developments at the Point waterfront node. It was expected to spark further development in the South Beach area. The sod turning had been performed by former mayor. Yeah, you know, the woman who's facing fraud and corruption charges? Same one, Zandile Gomede. Why are we surprised? The Daily News contacted the city for comment, but no response was received by the time of publication. Again, why are we surprised? All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe.